In Pit Lane is proudly brought to you by the Australian Sports Sedan Association of Victoria. Round 5 of the Grunt Performance Victorian Sports Sedan Championship. And with thanks to Slipstream Race Graphics. Yes, we're shuffling papers. I was away the day they did shuffling. I have 2 pieces of paper and I've been instructed to shuffle them. Consider them shuffled. Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we're going to introduce you to 17-year-old Hyundai Excel racer Michael Clemente. He will be joining us a little bit later in the program. Also, Paige Black, local singer-songwriter, will be joining us for a bit of music at the end of the program. But look, I don't have time to chit-chat because it was a busy weekend. We started out on Friday at Motorclassica, and that's where we're going to start tonight's In Pit Lane Motorsport News. Motorclassica has become one of the highlights of the local motoring calendar, and once again, the 2018 edition attracted large crowds to the Royal Exhibition buildings in Carlton. The event has become a sort of de facto Australian international motor show, with local importers using the event to showcase their history and their latest high-performance offerings. This year, Ford took the opportunity to unveil the Bullet Mustang, and it attracted a lot of attention. Also on display was the IMSA GTLM Ford GT that Ryan Briscoe raced at Le Mans. This year's show featured a celebration of 90 years of the Australian Grand Prix, with special guest Australia's 1980 world champion Alan Jones. Jones Williams FW07 was on display, but with the team struggling in F1 at the moment, AJ is concerned about its future.
Williams is a great team. Their facilities and their resources and everything are fantastic. Their dedication to motor racing is second to none. They've got one of the best power units in Grand Prix racing. There's no question about that. When Paddy Lowe went there a couple of years ago from Mercedes-Benz, he was the guy that designed the Williams that Nigel Mansell won the World Championship in, the one which is all self-leveling, self-everything. He won like 13 out of 16 races or something. When he went there, I thought, oh, well, Paddy Lowe's going there, we should see a bit of a change. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen that much of a change. Admittedly, I think they need at least one good experienced quick driver. At the moment, they've got 2 young blokes that aren't very experienced and aren't very quick. So I don't think that's helping particularly. But, you know, I would love to think that they're going to come back. I mean, one thing is for sure in Formula One, nothing ever lasts.
The winner of the Australian Concours d'Elegance for 2018 was this magnificent 1932 Alfa Romeo 6C Spider. But the people's choice was a lot more down to earth, with a 1969 Holden Monaro GTS winning the popular vote. With the 2018 Motorclassica now over for another year, planning is already well advanced for next year, with show boss Paul Mathers looking to celebrate more significant motoring history.
Next year we're celebrating 100 years of Bentley, 100 years of Alvis and 100 years of Citroën. 70 years I think it is of Arbeth. We're doing, I think it might be 70 years of Mini, and then there's Japanese sports cars, which will be the first time we've ever featured Japanese cars here at Motorclassica. And as you would know, the Japanese sports car movement is growing.
It's a whole subculture.
Oh, yeah. Well, it used to be a very boy racer kind of thing, you know, and it was about highly modified cars. But now those cars in their original formats are becoming very desirable, and they're starting to appreciate in value. I mean, at the top end of the chain, you've got the Toyota 2000 GT, which is an over $1 million car. But you know, you look at the rise of something like the Mazda Cosmo, the RX-7s, the early years, you know, those sort of the early Z cars. All of those cars because they're the cars that I grew up with, my generation, they're becoming really collectible and covetable. And, you know, the more people want them, the more the prices rise.
In Pit Lane will have a special edition of the show recorded at Motorclassica coming up in Melbourne Cup Week with extended interviews and special features. Across the Tasman, Hampton Downs staged the final round of the Australian GT Championship, with Melbourne driver Jeff Emery taking his second championship. Emery and co-driver Gas Tander won the Hampton Downs 500 to give Emery the crown. John Martin in the Porsche 911 GT3 took the early lead, but a charging drive from Tander saw him pass the Hot Wheels Porsche late in the race to take the win. A third place to Max Twigg and Tony D'Alberto confirmed them as victors of the CAMS Australian Endurance Championship in their Mercedes AMG. Audi driver Rene Rast continued his recent domination of the DTM with another win, this time in the series finale at Hockenheim. But even this win wasn't enough to give him the championship, which went to third place finisher Gary Paffett. It was the second championship win for Paffett and the 8th for Mercedes, who now leave the series. They'll be replaced by Aston Martin in 2019. The name Schumacher could be back in Formula One faster than anybody could have ever imagined. Mick Schumacher, the son of the 7-time world champion, has won the European Formula 3 Championship. A second place in race 2 of the weekend at Hockenheim wrapped up the title to Schumacher, who stormed home in the second half of the year to take the championship win. His main rival, English driver Dan Ticktum, cast doubts on the remarkable form reversal, inferring that Schumacher's car may have had a little bit of added power, saying he was fighting a losing battle because his last name is not Schumacher. Another comfortable win for Toyota in the World Endurance Championship at the 6 Hours of Fuji. The number 7 TS050 of Kamui Kobayashi, Mike Conway and Jose Maria Lopez crossed the finish line ahead of the sister number 8 car to give the Japanese manufacturer its third 1-2 result of the season. In LMP2, victory went to the Jackie Chan DC Racing Orica of the all-Malaysian lineup of Jasmine Jafar, Weiren Tan and Nabil Jeffrey. Porsche doubled up in the GTE classes, with the factory 911 RSR of Kevin Estre and Michael Christensen clinching the GTE Pro win, with the Team Project 1 Porsche on top in GTE AM. Steve Torrence continued his amazing run of wins in the NHRA countdown to the championship, winning his 4th straight race in top fuel at ZMAX Dragway in Charlotte. The Texan ran a 3.703 at 530.55 kilometres per hour to defeat defending world champion Brittany Force in the final round. In funny car, Ron Capps picked up his third victory of 2018 in his Napa Auto Parts Dodge Charger to defeat J.R. Todd in the final. Jason Line grabbed his first victory of the season, winning Pro Stock with a 6.531 second pass in the final round to knock off series points leader Tanner Gray. And Matt Smith took over the points lead in Pro Stock Bike after his third victory of the season as he led home Chip Ellis. And in NASCAR, Eric Almirola hung on to win at Talladega after teammate Kurt Busch ran out of fuel on the final lap. It was a dominant performance by the Stewart Haas racing team as Almirola, Busch and teammates Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer worked together throughout the entire 193-lap race, leaving everyone else to squabble over the minor places. Boyer was second to increase his chance of playoff advancement, followed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
You're watching In Pit Lane on Channel 31, or you might be watching us live on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel or via Facebook Live. Either way, you're watching us, and we hope you'll continue watching us right after this break. Okay, so for all of the people who are watching us live on Facebook, I've got to move a bit. I've got a really crook back at the moment, and I've got a really crook back all the time, but I'm in absolute pain tonight. I hope you realise I'm suffering for my art, and now it's your turn. But now we're going to be joined by Michael Clemente in just a moment. He'll be talking about his time this year in the Hyundai Excels and what his plans are for the future. But right now we want to remind you that coming up a little bit later in November, we see the biggest sports sedan race in Australia, the 2018 Phillip Island 50k plate. It's over its long history, the 50k plate's been won by some of the biggest names in Australian sports sedan racing. Now, of course, the 2018 edition sees the stars of the Grunt Performance Victorian Sports Sedan Championship take on the biggest names in the Australian National Series, including Tony Ricciardello in his legendary Alfetta Chev.
Now, the race will be part of the annual Island Magic meeting, the traditional end-of-year party for the local motorsport scene. So, look, keep the weekend free and head on down for Australia's fastest circuit racing sedans at Australia's most spectacular full-time circuit. That's the Phillip Island 50k plate, the final round of the Grunt Performance Victorian Sports Sedan Championship coming up later in the month, last weekend of November. And remember, In Pit Lane and RMI TV Student Television would once again like to say thank you to the Australian Sports Sedan Association of Victoria for their great support for this season of In Pit Lane. Now we're going to tell you, as I said, coming up a little bit later on, Paige Black will be joining us, and she's going to be playing some music, a bit of a bonus for you people watching live, and also a song to take us out for Channel 31 viewers. But speaking of Channel 31 viewers, I think we might rejoin them in just a moment, if that's okay with you, Pete. So if we can get a, do they want me to shuffle papers again? Because I think I'm getting the hang of that now. I think I can do that without my hands leaving my wrist or anything. Welcome back to In Pit Lane here on Channel 31. Now, the explosion in popularity of the Hyundai Excel has just taken everybody by storm here in Victoria and right around Australia. Huge fields. We had a couple of weeks ago. We had not one but two meetings happening, and there were packed fields in both of them. Now, our guest tonight is one of an increasing number of young drivers who are using the Hyundai Excel series as their pathway into a career in full-time motorsport. Please welcome to the program, Michael Clemente. Michael, welcome to In Pit Lane.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having us.
Now, let's talk about your background, how you've ended up in the Hyundai Excels. I take it you started in karts?
Yes, I started in cars in 2007. Dad brought me a go-kart. I had my first race later that year. From then we just progressed. I learned racecraft. We did a lot of race meets, and it was all about learning the new steps into becoming a racing driver. So we did about 10 years in that, and that brought us into the XL series where I've done my second year competing in it now. So it's gone really well, and hopefully we keep moving forward.
Now, of course, in the old days when we had young guys coming out of karts, they automatically went straight into something like Formula V or Formula Ford. But you're moving into Excels, and as I say, a lot of young people do. We've seen Ben Bargwana has done it. There's a few people, sort of around your age actually doing it. Why is it purely a cost thing?
I think the XL is a really good stepping stone out of karts, as Formula Ford can be quite expensive, and not a lot of us have the budget to get into there. So a lot of us saw the XL category to be a nice budget entry level for racing. So I think a lot of us have taken the same approach and just jumped into that and learned the new ways of tracks and the new steps into motorsport. So I think that's probably why it's such a big thing. It's a good stepping stone out of karts to racing to cars. So that's probably why.
Do you think it's a bit different these days as well? I mean, when we used to get guys like you coming in the past, like when we started this program way before you were born, everybody said the moment we talked to them, they said, I want to get to Formula One. Formula One was the be-all and end-all. Is that still the sort of focus, or are you more perhaps realistic in terms of where you want to end up in the sport?
Yeah, so of course I'd love to race F1, that's the dream, but I think the goal for me is to make it to Vet Supercars one day. Just like to be a little bit more realistic. There's not much of a point of me going to Europe and spending all my money over there when I can probably do it over here and I have a better chance of making it into the motorsport world. So yeah, I'm probably going for Vet Supercars. So.
Do you think with the vehicle dynamics of the Hyundais, I mean, obviously a front-wheel drive car, they're not wildly modified, but they're actually surprisingly quick for what they are. Do you think when we've got TCR coming around the corner, they're front-wheel drive cars as well? We've got the British Touring Car Championship cars, also front-wheel drive. The future seems to be front-wheel drive. Do you think that's going to be something that is going to put you in good stead in the future, having that front-wheel drive experience?
Yeah, for sure. As like front-wheel drive is not really a popular racing class at the moment. It's kind of new. You wouldn't think a race car is going to be front-wheel drive. So it is a good thing that there's a lot more categories bringing in front-wheel drive, and the XL is a good entry. And then obviously you can move forward to British Touring Cars or TCR. So it's really good to be front-wheel drive, and we're learning the ways. And obviously one day it'll be good to race rear-wheel drive cars. But if you look at the future, it could be possibly a TCR or touring car. So if we can get front-wheel drive learning experience under us, it'd be good for that.
Well, that's the thing. You see a lot of people online sort of saying, let's bring back production cars for Bathurst and all the rest of it. If we race production cars at Bathurst, unless it's a BMW or a Mercedes, chances are it's going to be front-wheel drive.
Yeah, for sure. Front-wheel drive's quite big. So if you see him at Bathurst, that'd be awesome. And hopefully we can get a seat in that. We'll have a good experience in front-wheel drive cars by then. So that'd be good.
You said you've done a couple of years. Tell us about your year so far. How have you viewed your season so far?
We started off a little bit rough in the first race at Sandown. We did all right. We come third through then, but on to the next round at Phillip Island, we qualified second on the field, but in the first race we had a bit of an incident and it set us back to the back of the field. So in the second race I started last, and by the end of the day I ended up finished third. So that was a really good race meet for us. We learned a lot of new things and experience for then, and I suppose the years just progressed from then. We ended up winning the Nationals last weekend, which is a really good thing for us. It's great for all our sponsors and media coverage, so I'm really happy to take on that title. But at the moment we're leading the 2018 SA State Championship with 2 rounds to go, so if we can focus on that, our next race will be this weekend, so if we can wrap it up and win that championship as well, that'd be really good.
Now that next race coming up this weekend, of course, is at the new Tailem Bend circuit, the Bend as they're calling. Have you raced there yet?
Yeah, we did our first round, I think was in August at the Bend. It's an awesome layout. The track's really cool, and the facilities there is second to none, so it's a great experience there, and we can't wait to get back there and hopefully we can win that race.
And when do we see you back in Victoria racing again?
There's an endurance race in December for the Excel, so we'll be racing at that at Winton, so that'll be another good race.
What's your favourite circuit so far? I mean, you haven't had like a huge amount of experience, but what are your favourite circuits?
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of experience. I've only been to the tracks in Melbourne and SA, but so far I'm loving Phillip Island and the Bend. I've only been to the Bend once, but so far after being there, it's been a really good circuit, but also Phillip Island's a massive circuit, and I love that circuit as well. So between Phillip Island and the Bend, the two best circuits I've been at.
I imagine that a front-wheel drive Hyundai Excel coming over the top of Lukey might be something that gets your attention.
Yeah, there's been a few big moments over the top of Lukey Heights going sideways, but if you can get it right, sometimes you can take the corner flat, which is quite a big thing. You wouldn't see a lot of other race cars taking that corner flat. Obviously, we are a lot slower, but we have a really good chassis, and the XLs are quite surprising what you think to normal race cars. We have a lot of corner speed we can carry, so that's really good.
Okay, we'll find out more about your plans for the future when we come back after the break, but stay with us because we're going to take a break for our viewers on Channel 31 at the moment, but and then later on in the program we're also of course going to be joined by Paige Black for some music. But for all of our 31 viewers, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. This is In Pit Lane. Don't go away. Okay, if Paige would like to make her way over to the the performing area, we will set you up and get ready for that. So we saw the news before. You were watching. I saw you watching the NASCAR stuff keenly. Is that a possibility in the future?
I think that's a big step. It's not really out of our reach. We haven't really thought into that, but it'd be awesome to get a seat anywhere. I'm grateful to be anywhere racing a car, so anywhere I'm happy to be. NASCAR obviously being a massive series in a big country and a lot of fans around there, so I suppose that'd be a really good thing to do.
What about when you're not racing? What are you doing? Are you still a student?
Yeah, I'm actually year 11, so I'm completing VCE at the moment, but I also have a bit of a project car. I just got my first car a while back, and I've been working on that a bit. It's in a Bath 595, so I love that. It's a great little hobby, a front-wheel drive car as well, so it's got the same characteristics as a race car, I suppose. But yeah, I love that. I love working on it.
So you enjoy working on your own cars, do you? Because a lot of guys that come in there, the current generation, they just sort of, Dad, somebody fix this. You like getting your hands dirty.
Yeah, I don't mind. I love working on the car. I feel like when you do the setup on your car yourself and work on it, you get a bit more of a feedback. When you're out on the track, you understand a bit more of what's going on. So obviously I got Dave, my engineer, does a lot of work on the car, but between him, my dad and myself, we all work on the car at the same time, and we get much about it we can, because I think I learn the best of me doing it.
Okay, well, stay with us because we're going to have some music right now for our viewers on In Pit Lane, the In Pit Lane YouTube channel, and on Facebook Live. And our guest tonight is Paige Black, and we'll be giving you all of Paige's details a little bit later on in the program. She'll be taking us out for the Channel 31 viewers as well. But Paige, now I haven't got the... Now, what song will we be doing first, Paige? That's... Blind. Well, yes, I've been blind before. So as we said, this is Paige Black here on In Pit Lane, and this is Blind.
Retiring my eyes for the night's rest. Will you think of me tonight when you lay down? There are so many words but just no sound, and it's taking me down. It's taking me down. I'm turning my head and my endless river of vulnerability. It's removing my sense of self-security. I'm silent down fast, but it's not my intended path, and it's taking me down. It's taking me down. I'm turning my head and my eyes, they don't see, just to avoid the pain it leaves inside of me. I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind. Well, it's hurting my heart and it's hurting my soul, but I won't say, 'cause I won't let you be the one to destroy me. So I'm making myself, I'm making myself. Oh, I'm making myself, I'm making myself. Oh, I'm making myself, I'm making myself. Oh, I'm blind, I'm blind. I'm turning my head and my eyes, they don't see, just to avoid the pain it leaves inside of me. I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind, I'm blind.
Thank you to Paige Black. Paige will be joining us a little bit later on in the program to take us out on channel 31. In fact, we might get you to stay there for the moment if you could, Paige, because we're... Pete, could you find out how much how much time we have left for the third and final segment?
4 minutes 30.
For the entire segment, or...
For the entire segment.
Right, okay.
Not including...
Not including the song.
Yeah, 4
So that's not the entire segment. So we've got 4 minutes to introduce... Right, okay. So that's not the final segment. Okay, so we've got 4 minutes to talk to Michael and to introduce Paige. And then Paige's song. Right, we've cleared that up. Okay, so we know roughly what we're doing, I suppose. We'll find out. Pete will wave to me and tell me what's happening. Okay, so yes, we must say, of course, thank you once again to our friends at Slipstream Race Graphics as well too for our lovely set that you can see behind us. As we said a couple of weeks ago, they came on board and said, look, we can sort of tidy up your set a bit and replace some of that the terrible old thing that was there with a shiny new one, and they've done that. So if you're looking for race graphics for your car or to put around your business, contact Scott and the guys at Slipstream Race Graphics. Now, Les, we're going to come back to channel 31, I believe, Pete. So if you would give us the countdown, we will do this final segment.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, our guest tonight is Michael Clemente from the Hyundai Excel series. And Michael, we talked about what you've done so far, but what are your plans for the future? I mean, if let's say you get through the end of this year and all goes well in your last couple of races, what are the short-term plans?
Yeah, well, everything goes to plan this year. We win the SA title. I think next year we're going to do the Excel National Series around Australia, so there should be a 3-round series, and we're going to focus on that as a mini style. So we don't have a lot of flexibility, can't do a lot. But in terms of where we're going after that, I think the next stepping stone is probably Toyota 86s. That's a really good next level to get into, and then from there we can just move on forward and just try and make our way to V8 supercars.
Sorry.
Mike's audio is down.
Oh, okay. So we've got. Do you want to take it again then, Pete? If they can fix that.
They're going to fix it, and they're going to fix it.
Yes, if you could fix that. So obviously we've got a problem with Michael's audio.
The audio, Matt is coming in to fix it.
Right. Yes, Matt is coming in. Matt is coming to fix it. So yeah, we've got just a technical problem with Mike's mic. We're just going to change. We're just going to change over. Ladies and gentlemen, the back you're seeing right now is that of Matthew, our audio guru. He's the one who makes or helps all of our guests, our musical guests, sound so wonderful. And he comes a long, long way. He comes from where? Where do you come from? Addis Ababa or somewhere? Where the hell is it that you?
Not close, Ballarat.
Ballarat. He comes all the way from Ballarat. So. Yes, Pete. I'm just popping from behind there to see Pete over there.
When we come back, we'll go from the top, so you'll
Yes, yep.
take page and then you'll come.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll just do the whole segment. We're going to do the whole segment again. We're just going to pretend that this part of it has never happened. Right? We can do. I think we can do that. We have the technology. We're just miking up, and then Matthew will just make sure that we've got a signal coming through, because unless you're a very, very good mime, there's probably no point in having it without a microphone. Yeah. Okay, Matthew will just go in and check on that. So, and when he does, we will, because I'm hearing myself in there, so my mic's working at least. That's a good thing. So I'll shut up in a second, because I imagine in a moment Peter is going to tell me to shut up so that we can test Michael's microphone.
Can you
Testing.
Can you count till I tell you to stop, please?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
It's working.
Okay, it's working. Okay, so we're going to take this from the top and with. Can you give us another countdown? Thanks, Pete.
Okay. Coming in. Coming in. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane, coming to you live across, or coming to you not live, but recorded live, and coming to you across Melbourne and Geelong on Channel 31. Our guest tonight is Hyundai Excel racer Michael Clemente, and joining us a little bit later on will be Paige Black to take us out with some music. But Michael, we spoke before the break about what you've been doing this year, but what are the plans for next year and beyond?
So everything comes to plan. So this year we went the SA state title. That's what we'll be focusing on. But in regards to next year, we're going to do the XLs again. We're going to do a whole national series around Australia, because I am in Year 12, so I don't have a lot of flexibility. I can't go doing a lot of different races in a lot of different classes. So next year we'll focus on XLs again. But after that, we're probably going to look for a drive in 86s, as we reckon that's a good stepping stone for next year. Sorry, not next year, the year after. But after 86s, if we get good results in that, we can probably just push our way through in all the other classes and try and get the VS Supercars.
A big year, of course, ahead with your studies. What are you focused on something after that in terms of your study? What career do you want outside of? Because it's always good to have something to fall back on. And in my case, I had television. That worked out well, didn't it? Now, so what are you looking to do outside of motorsport?
I'm doing VCE at the moment, so after school I'm probably going to go to uni and study a course, but I haven't specifically decided on what I want to do. I've got a rough idea in like business and commerce and all that, so if I can get through school then...
Yeah, not television.
Yeah, maybe not, but yeah, after school I'll do something in university and also racing cars, so we can manage both. That'd be good.
Yeah, that's the ideal thing. I mean, if you can stay at uni for as long as you can, that's a really, really good way to go. Look, good luck with it for both the rest of this year, and good luck on the weekend at Tailem Bend, and hopefully we'll be able to report a good result out there for this weekend. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow too much and there's not too much dust. But for now, Michael Clemente, thanks for joining us in Pit Lane.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you.
And thank you to you at home. Now, tonight's musical guest is Paige Black. And if you'd like to see her performing, she's performing at Some Velvet Morning. That's in Clifton Hill this coming Saturday, the 20th of October. She'll also be at the Thornbury Local, which I believe is a pub, on Friday, the 16th of November, and the Surrey Hills Music Festival on the 17th of November. If you'd like to chase down her social media, you can find her on Facebook as Paige Black, Instagram as Paige Black, one word, and she's going to take us out tonight on the program. So until we join you once again next week here on Channel 31, when I don't know what we'll do, we'll be featuring all of the news from the Gold Coast 400, I think it is this week. But anyway, somebody's running around on the Gold Coast Supercars. We can't show any of it to you anyway, but it doesn't matter. But that's happening this weekend. Plus all the national and international news here on In Pit Lane. Now remember, if you want to contact us here at In Pit Lane, whether you want to perhaps talk to us about sponsorship, or if you perhaps would like to be a guest on the program like Michael, then all you've got to do is contact us via email at theshow@inpitlane.com. Nice and easy to remember, theshow@inpitlane.com. But as I said, taking us out tonight is Paige Black, and she's going to be taking us out with her song, Sailed Away. Ladies and gentlemen, Paige Black and Sailed Away.
I'm jumping on a plane, I'm listening to Wander, reminiscing all of the winter season antics. Sad to believe in, cause I know I'll be missing you. But it's different this time, we knew how this would end, so I didn't expose my heart to break again. I couldn't bear those sobbing tears in bed, but your smile was growing fonder, and you're holding me longer. I almost fell in love again, but I sailed away before you steered your ship my way. But you let me go once and you let me go again, so I sailed my ship away. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like if we weren't always stuck there in this little winter fight. Is it just 'cause we're both there? Is it just for the company of the night? Why didn't I embrace the time that we had? I was too busy putting up walls in my head. No, I was right, it would have been too hard to leave again. But your smile was growing fonder, and I was kissing you longer. I almost fell in love again, but I sailed away before you steered your ship my way. But you let me go once and you let me go again, so I sailed my ship away. I sailed away. If I could just rewind, I would cherish all that time. But I can't control my emotions, they run away, and I'm left here choking on these words. And you